Thanks for staying with us for TV5 News at 9. Joining us this morning is Andrew Herreza. He's an attorney and the founder of Great Lakes Bay Trust and Estates. We appreciate you being here. This is so interesting. Today we are talking about essential estate planning and the information every family needs to know. And we should really start with, what is estate planning?
Well, thanks for having me, and I'm excited for this discussion here today. Estate planning is really the process of planning for what will happen in two different events. The first is, of course, when you pass away, and the second is when you become incapacitated, which means you can't make decisions for yourself for whatever reason. Perhaps you're in a coma or in some sort of medical situation where you can't make a decision for you. And so estate planning is really all about how can you have a plan in place to protect your assets for your loved ones and protect yourself during those critical times.
Well, what happens if we don't have an estate plan?
So if we don't have an estate plan, most people think that they don't have anything, but they really do. There is a plan. It's the state's plan for you. We call that probate. And what probate is it's a process that the state of Michigan has set up to basically allow for family members and loved ones to receive their inheritance. It's a court process, meaning you go to the probate court, you file a case in the probate court. It's public. It's usually fairly expensive because you've got to pay attorneys to go to court. And it usually in Michigan will take about, I'd say 7 to 12 months, a minimum of 5 months, but usually closer to a year.
And we should mention, too, that that can be really exhausting for families who are also grieving if you're gone. I mean, it's not an easy process, per se.
Absolutely. You know, the last thing that families want to be thinking about after a loved one has died is finances, going to court, talking to attorneys, paying attorneys' fees, at a time when people want to be grieving their loved ones. And so the job of any good estate planner is hopefully to help put in place a plan for their clients that will help them avoid the probate process.
Well, you know, when you think about it, if somebody, let's say, has been a renter all their life, doesn't own major real estate, doesn't have huge amounts in the bank, is estate planning only for the wealthy or people with significant assets?
That's a great question, and so many people come to me and ask that exact question. They say, Andrew, I don't have very much. Why do I need to plan? And the reality is, back to what we talked about at the beginning of this segment, it's not just about what happens when you die, but also if you become incapacitated. So for example, if you were to be in a car accident and in a coma, you're not able to make financial or medical decisions for yourself. And if you don't have the right plan and documents in place to allow someone to make those decisions for you, your family members and loved ones are going to have to go to court to have someone named who can do that.
Wow. What would you say are the key components really of a strong estate plan?
So every good estate plan is going to have a few foundational documents, really focused both on incapacity and then what happens when you die. For incapacity, there's two documents. These are powers of attorney for financial affairs and then for medical affairs. And so these allow you to name someone who can make those financial or medical decisions for you if you're not able to make those yourself. And so those are really critical and sometimes overlooked. And then, of course, a will and perhaps a trust for after you pass away.
And how often should we be reviewing that?
Yeah, I think this is a great question. Many folks think that once you go and see your attorney, you get your documents drawn up and you have the signing ceremony, that that's the end of the process. You put the documents up on a shelf or in a closet somewhere, check it off your to-do list and never think about it again. And the reality is, I've seen time and time again plans that even if they did work at the beginning may not work years down the line because families' circumstances may change. They may have asset changes. Family members may pass away, and the laws may change as well. And so really, I think any estate plan should be reviewed at least every 3 years, if not sooner, to make sure that your plan is working for you and for your loved ones when you need it the most.
And really, really the good news is that when you can get some help with an attorney such as yourself, really it is an easy process. You have all the information background. It's a matter of signatures and talking and figuring out what your needs are.
Exactly. The process, shouldn't be too complicated for clients. It's really about, for myself, I want to know what you want. Where do you want your assets to go? Who do you want to be in charge of the process? And really, it's my job to then figure out, or any attorney's job to figure out how to put that plan in place based on what you've told me you want.
All right, this is so helpful. Anything else that you want people to know when planning?
I think planning can be scary. Just like sometimes going to the doctor, going and seeing an attorney can be a scary thing. But I would say take that leap of faith. Give a call to that trusted attorney and really try to work with an attorney that specializes in trust and estate planning. Just like you probably don't want your family physician to be doing your heart surgery, same thing goes for your attorney. You really want someone who's a specialist in this area.
And it's a big gift really to your family and friends, whoever is taking care of you.
It is, because, by the time your plan is in place, likely you're going to be gone and you won't be able to see it come to fruition. And so it's really a gift to give to your family to help them after you've passed.
All right, Attorney Andrew Jereza, we appreciate you being here. We want to make sure everyone can get in contact with you. If you go to WNEM and look at the top of our homepage, you'll see hot links. Just click on that and we'll get everything you need to get in touch with Andrew at Great Lakes Bay Trust and Estates.